Are you sick of forcing fake positivity? Tired of battling endless negative thoughts? What if I told you there's a hidden secret, buried in the depths of your mind, that could end emotional suffering forever? This isn't about willpower, ignoring pain, or pretending life's perfect. This is about something far more powerful. Carl Jung's forbidden wisdom reveals the shocking truth. Your anxiety, self-doubt, and fear aren't flaws. They're messages from your soul, begging you to unlock a revolutionary shift almost no one dares to make. And today, I'll expose exactly how to decode these signals, erase toxic patterns, and armor your mind against any external chaos in minutes. But first, smash that subscribe button right now. Why? Because thousands are silently healing their deepest spiritual wounds using these life-changing secrets, and you don't want to miss what comes next. Stay here. By the end of this video, you'll wield a psychological superpower Jung himself called the key to unshakable freedom. This is your final wake-up call. Don't let your soul stay trapped a second longer. Perhaps you've wondered why some people remain unshakably calm no matter what happens. They navigate crises, losses, or uncertainty while staying centered. Meanwhile, others collapse over daily situations, trapped in their own emotions and reactions. Is it luck, personality, or a hidden principle separating those who master their inner world from those enslaved by it? This is where most go wrong. They believe reality is objective, that things simply happen, and their feelings are inevitable consequences of external events. But this isn't true. Everything you experience is filtered through how you interpret life, the beliefs you've carried forever, the emotions you've yet to manage. It's like wearing tinted glasses. No matter what's in front of you, you'll see it through that filter. If the filter is distorted by fear, resentment, or guilt, the world will reflect exactly that. Not because life is, unfair, but because you can't see beyond what's inside you. Here's the key no one has told you. It's not about avoiding pain or evading difficult emotions. It's not about becoming immune to everything around you. It's about transforming the meaning you give to each experience, reprogramming how you perceive reality, and learning to turn every emotion into a tool for growth instead of a burden that traps you. Because the truth is, reality isn't imposed, it's interpreted. When you grasp this, when you learn to control that interpretation, you discover you can choose how to respond to any situation. At that moment, you become free. Today, I'll show you exactly how to do this, not with abstract theories, but principles used by those who've achieved inner peace, independent of anything or anyone. You'll learn how to turn fear into clarity, make negative emotions work for you, and attain unshakable serenity regardless of life's circumstances. What you're about to understand could change everything, but only if you're willing to look inward and question everything you've accepted as true. In the end, it's not what happens that determines your peace, it's how you choose to live it. And once you learn to transform that process, you'll realize nothing and no one can affect you the same way again. How would your life change if you could remove those invisible glasses distorting your view and experience the world without the weight of fears, limiting beliefs, and repressed emotions? The human mind is a complex labyrinth, a space where every thought, reaction, and emotion is shaped by deep layers we rarely consciously explore. Carl Jung, the visionary psychoanalyst, understood this better than anyone. He described the psyche as an iceberg. The visible tip is superficial consciousness, but beneath lies a vast subconscious storing past experiences, traumas, insecurities, and most importantly, our projections onto the world. What we don't make conscious governs us. Everything we ignore within doesn't disappear. It manifests in reality as if it were inevitable fate. Consider how fear infiltrates your life, often unnoticed. It disguises itself as doubt when you question if you're good enough to try something new. It hides in procrastination when you delay what you truly desire out of fear of failure. It manifests in relationships where you overcompromise to avoid rejection or loneliness. Jung taught that fear, like any emotion, isn't an enemy. It's a disguised teacher. pointing to something within you that needs acknowledgement. But most people fight their emotions instead of listening. They repress feelings, convince themselves they shouldn't feel sad, angry, or vulnerable. This is where the problem begins. What you resist persists. A repressed emotion doesn't vanish. It becomes a daily burden, a whisper in your mind, a block holding you back without your awareness. Imagine a storm. Wind rages, rain pours, the sky darkens. You resist, pushing against the wind, trying to stop the rain. The more you fight, the more exhausted you become. The storm doesn't stop because you rage against it. It passes when you let it. This is how the mind works. Every emotion is a passing storm, not a life sentence. But most people live trapped in controlling their feelings, fearing what's inside. Instead of listening, they silence emotions with distractions, work, entertainment, or temporary relationships, avoiding what truly needs attention. What if, instead of fighting your feelings, you paused? If instead of ignoring sadness, you observed it? If instead of hiding fear, you asked what it's trying to tell you? Every emotion carries a hidden message. Sadness signals something needing release, an attachment no longer serving you, an unmet expectation, a part of you needing liberation. Fear reveals limiting beliefs. I'm not enough. I don't deserve what I desire. Failure must be avoided at all costs. Anger, often suppressed, reminds you your boundaries are being crossed, that something in your environment disrespects your true self. When you start seeing emotions as guides rather than obstacles, something shifts. And when your inner world changes, so does the outer world. Now imagine a situation where you'd typically react automatically. A conflict at work, an argument with a loved one, feeling insecure or attacked. Instead of impulsive action, pause, breathe. Observe the scene as a detached spectator. Ask, which part of me is reacting? Is it the external situation affecting me, or something internal that was already there? The answer can transform your life. When you realize external events only have power over you if you allow it internally, you reclaim control. Jung spoke of the silent observer, the part of consciousness untethered to emotions or external circumstances. Accessing this inner calm, you discover nothing and no one can affect you unless you grant them power. Every destabilizing event isn't due to an unfair world or harmful people. It's because something within you needs work. Here lies the true key to unshakable peace. Not changing the external world, but transforming how you experience it. Once achieved, storms no longer frighten you. They're fleeting, each offering growth. If you analyze deep-seated thoughts, you'll notice they aren't truly yours. They're absorbed from past experiences or others' words, adopted as absolute truths. The key: you don't have to keep carrying them. Imagine deciding today to rewrite your narrative. Instead of repeating, "I'm not enough," embrace the idea that you've always been capable. The only hindrance is the story you've told yourself. Jung taught that the unconscious doesn't distinguish real from imaginary. It responds to the programming we feed it. By nurturing your mind with empowering beliefs, your external reality inevitably reflects this. Consider someone who's lived fearing rejection, believing love must be earned through people-pleasing. To break this cycle, Jung's concept of shadow integration, bringing the hidden into light, applies. Recognizing they're trapped in fear of rejection, they reclaim power. Their worth no longer depends on others' validation but self-perception. Setting boundaries, saying no without guilt, prioritizing self-care, and miraculously, others respond differently. The cycle breaks. Another example, someone viewing failure as humiliation, self-sabotaging with shame. By reframing failure as inevitable and mistakes as teachers, their relationship with life shifts. Jung said, "Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you." Interpreting setbacks as learning opportunities dissolves fear. Your value isn't in outcomes, but evolution. Every thought is a seed. Watering fear, resentment, or doubt grows them into life-dominating trees. But planting seeds of trust, inner peace, and self-belief transforms reality. This isn't abstract. Next time a limiting thought arises, don't accept it. Observe, question, challenge. Ask, is this truly mine, or an echo of the past I can release? The most revealing truth: you don't need the world to change. You need to change your relationship with it. Those viewing life as obstacles and tragedies will find proof everywhere. But those seeing it as growth opportunities experience life differently. Jung said, "What you resist persists." Fighting life with fear attracts what you avoid. Flowing with it, embracing each experience's lesson, dissolves resistance. Imagine living without fear of failure. It doesn't define you. Others' opinions, only your self-view matters. Or uncertainty, trusting you'll handle whatever comes. This is true freedom, not circumstantial, but born within. Freeing yourself from invisible mental chains, you realize the peace you sought was always inside, waiting to be recognized. When we avoid our shadows, they manifest as unrecognized anxiety, recurring conflicts, or patterns. Facing them reveals they're not enemies but parts needing understanding. Think of a long-carried fear: rejection, failure, inadequacy. Ask, where does this voice come from? Often it's from childhood or admired figures. The key: that voice isn't you, it's a past echo. Instead of fighting or ignoring it, listen. Ask, what are you teaching me? Maybe it's urging self-trust, self-validation, or facing desires. Exploring emotions, fear loses power. You stop being a puppet of the past and become the architect of your present. In real scenarios, during a high-stakes conversation, anxiety rises. Instead of repression, pause, breathe. Acknowledge the emotion without letting it control you. Ask, which part of me feels this? What story am I telling? Realizing fear stems from an older pattern, you respond from clarity, not insecurity, or resentment toward someone who hurt you. Jung noted unresolved inner issues project outward. Instead of asking, why did they hurt me? Ask, what can I learn? What part of me clings to this pain? You might realize the pain isn't just their action, but the story you've believed, that it defines you as a victim. Choosing to release it, for yourself, not them, frees you. Jung emphasized inner transformation, not making emotions disappear by changing the world, but changing our relationship with them. Each difficult emotion or limiting thought is a portal to self-understanding. Crossing it requires courage to face your mind's mirror and integrate what you find, not to judge, but to accept. Life begins changing here. You're no longer reacting automatically. You're the observer choosing responses. Peace isn't something the world gives or takes. It's discovered within by seeing reality through new eyes. Not pretending everything's fine, but learning to be okay even in chaos. The power you've sought externally has always been inside. Once claimed, nothing affects you the same. Imagine waking exhausted not from lack of sleep, but emotional weight. An unresolved conversation, criticism, a lingering mistake. Why do others' opinions still hurt? The answer isn't external. It's how your mind interpreted events, making them part of your identity. Most believe suffering's cause is external, circumstances, others, luck. Jung clarified, what disturbs you externally reflects unhealed inner wounds. Criticism hurts because you distrust your worth. Others' indifference frustrates your need for validation. Until you address the root, cycles repeat. Next time you're upset, pause, breathe, observe feelings without judgment. Ask, why does this affect me? Which part of me feels this? You'll realize the issue wasn't others or situations. It's the story you told. Fear of rejection didn't start today, but years ago, when you linked acceptance to worth. Guilt isn't yours. It's a habit from believing you don't deserve mistakes. Take control. Ask, if this emotion were a message, what would it say? Maybe it's urging self-trust, self-validation, or living by your truth. What matters isn't what you feel, but what you do with it. In arguments, aggressive words escalate. Instead of matching anger, ask, which part of me reacts? Is it them or something deeper? By becoming emotions master, not slave, you reclaim control. Challenges become self-knowledge opportunities. Emotional responsibility is key. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate." Every emotion, thought, or reaction is a chance to control your story. Not denying feelings, but asking, how can, this strengthen me? Visualize someone who hurt you not as an enemy, but an involuntary teacher showing something about yourself. Ask, what part of me created this? How can I use it to grow? The lesson isn't about them, it's you. You don't need external validation. Peace comes from within. Peace isn't found, it's cultivated. Only you define who you are. When you grasp this, the world loses power over you. You're free. Replace old patterns with conscious choices, new code overriding limiting beliefs. But many stagnate, clinging to identities like "I'm too sensitive" or "I can't control emotions." Question these. Create new experiences backing transformation. Jung's shadow integration means sitting with pain, observing, accepting it as part of your story, not destiny. Imagine hurtful comments. Pause, breathe, repeat. This doesn't affect me unless I allow it. Words only hurt if inner fear agrees. Strengthen self-trust and their noise. True power isn't suppressing emotions but feeling them, without control. Jung said real freedom comes when you stop identifying with fleeting thoughts and emotions, observing them without attachment. Example, feeling used by others. Instead of victimhood, ask, where am I not setting boundaries? Why can't I say no? Gradually, set clear rules from self-love, not rage. Respect yourself, and others follow. The real change starts within. Adjust your frequency from fear, insecurity, to trust, clarity. Suddenly, tranquility becomes your natural state. Imagine life, where nothing shakes your center. Conflicts met with calm, emotions as passing waves. This peace isn't unattainable. It's possible by committing to internal strength. Once integrated, the world shifts. Hostility fades. People lose power over you. You're free. Individuation, becoming who you truly are, begins with courage to listen to yourself. How often have you ignored desires to please others? Repressed emotions deemed weak? Acted to fit in? Each time, you gave external power over inner peace. Practice inner silence. Daily, be with yourself. No distractions. Notice unnoticed feelings, needed changes, intuition's whispers. When hurtful comments arise, pause. Ask, do I need to take this personally, or is this about them? Detachment emerges, not apathy, but understanding others' words don't define you. Clarity comes through practice, returning to observer mode, not being swept by emotions. Relationships lose toxicity, situations lose heaviness. This journey doesn't erase pain, frustration, or sadness. It lets you see them as temporary visitors, not absolute truths. Emotions are ocean waves, intense but passing. Start building inner strength. Question. Intense emotions. Which part of me is activated? Allow emotions without repression. Remember, inner peace is built through choices, thoughts, and moments. Deciding nothing can take your calm. You've survived every past challenge. What seemed insurmountable is now a memory. Each fall was a step in evolution. Each fear overcome. Proof of inner strength. Final question. Will you keep waiting for external change or transform from within? The answer's always been yours. Start now, not tomorrow, not when perfect. Now.